Morning everybody, my name's Octane and I'm here today with a very special project for this channel and I'm really excited to be here, and this is a special episode of my LEGO Legend of Zelda custom set showcase, where today I'm bringing you EXZ002 with 760 pieces. This is a special set designed just for Hylian Bricks, Hyrule Champion Movie Maker, and this is a set inspired by a LEGO Movie 2 set from 2019 in which you could make your own stop animation, something that fits perfectly with, well, the channel you're on right now. Anyway, this is set EX002 for ages 8 and up with 760 pieces, retailing for $40 and containing 9 brick-built characters, and I think we'll take a look at my creation today, which I did in partnership with Hylian Bricks. So, I whipped up a little description, just like would appear on lego.com, and it reads: make your own movie with the Hyrule Champion Movie Maker, featuring a movie stage, camera stand for your smartphone device, and plenty of cool action props. The stage features a frame with sliding adjustable arms at the top to hold and animate props, characters, and accessory elements. A double backdrop with alternate scenes, plus a channel with many sliders to move characters around. Attach the camera stand to any of the 3 special points on the stage for different angles and camera panning movements. This Hyrule Champion set also comes with action props like the Master Cycle Zero and a side stage for interior scenes, as well as 7 minifigures and 2 brick-built characters for creative play. And personally, if someone that knows my work, I love this box art. This is another big step up for us. We've got the Hyrule Champion logo down in the bottom left and a film strip showing off all the iconic characters from the animation that you know and love. So, without any further ado, let's take a closer look at all the features and I can actually explain the concept of the set. However, inside of our box we have 5 numbered bags and an instruction manual, which when we open up, we're going to see bag 1 gives the main framework for our stage, as well as gives us our Korok character. Bag 2 builds the camera display stand, as well as gives us our director Link with his film camera. Bag 3 builds the side stage, as well as the Moblin. Bag 4 gives us the Queen, Everett, and the child version of Link, as well as the scenery for the side stage, a really cool element that I'm excited to share. And then bag 5 does all the accessories, as well as building the Goblin, the YIGA Foot Soldier, and the Breath of the Wild Zelda. And let's take a closer look at that model now. So here is the model in its entirety. It's sort of split into 3 sections. You have the side stage over on the left, the main stage in the middle, and then the camera, which is adjustable and movable. We also have a lot of scenery elements, sort of showing you what this could be like. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a cardboard backdrop, which on one side shows like an image of Hyrule here, and on the other side, well, there's another image I'll show you in just a minute. But we've got lots of different ways in which you could animate either in real time or stop motion, just like Hylian Bricks does for Hyrule Champion, but I'll explain those as we go through. So taking a look at that main stage first, you can see the backdrop and all of the little bits of scenery. We've got some bushes, some silent princesses, as well as obviously a microscale version of Hyrule Castle to represent it being in the distance. We have a dark tan flooring, which is obviously supposed to look like some dirt, as well as a cooking pot with an apple, and then obviously a microscale Hyrule Castle. And if we flip over our cardboard backdrop I mentioned earlier, you can see we have a close-up of the castle or at night. I mean, maybe this would work best if you didn't have the microscale castle on screen. However, I wanted to show off the backdrop, and renders take a long time. Next up, I thought I should quickly show you all the things you can do on the stage floor, and this is split into 3 major elements, which I'm going to highlight for you now. So we have the red areas, which are jumper plates, the yellow area, which is what I am dubbing the trough, and the blue area, which are your camera attachment points. Starting with the blue areas, you can see the camera stand moving around to the different points and all the angles, allowing you to get many different shots of your set. You can also technically flip the arm that the camera's on to the other side of the camera build, so you could get a better shot of the side stage, but you don't really need to see that. That's more of just a hands-on thing. Taking a closer look at the actual camera stand, I've actually managed to show you what it might look like with a generic phone JPEG in there, and you can see that the seat at the top just wedges down on top of the phone using some rubber pieces and keeps it still. And if you look over on the right, you can see that there are some cheese slopes, which mean you can angle your phone downwards to take a closer look at some of the characters. Obviously there'd be a companion app piece which would allow you to take a closer look, and there's a dark blue chair on the top for our director Link minifigure, who we'll look at later. Also included some camera equipment so that Director Link or any other minifigures you have could hold it. So we've got the old-fashioned camcorder, which can slot a 1x2 tile into it, which ironically would be the Sheikah Slate in this case. We have a normal minifigure camera and then a sound mic boom for some sound work. Okay, now moving on to the pegs from earlier, we're going to take a look at those scenery points. And as I mentioned, those jumpers at the back is what the bushes and the Hyrule Castle is attached to. And you can swap those out for a variety of things. You've got this barrel, a cooking pot, lots of different flowers which can go on all the studs, not to mention the big bushes, the microscope castle, which is actually a really interesting build using a lot of 1x2 rounded plates, and then obviously you've got the bed which can actually fit a minifigure inside it, but you'll get a better shot of that later. Also included, we have 4 printed tiles. We have this one which appears in a lot of sets which has the boat on it. We have a map of Hyrule, a map of the Great Plateau, and then to finish it off we have the 2x3 print of the tapestry from Impa's house, which is obviously important throughout Breath of the Wild and Hyrule Camping story. Moving on to yellow, which was what I have dubbed the trough, we have these 4 accessories here which fit in the trough. We'll go through them one by one as they each add a huge amount of playability to your animation capabilities. But all of these things slot into the trough as shown and sit either one plate or flush with the floor. This one in particular has a red handle at the end and a transparent pole on it, and obviously it can slide backwards and forwards through the trough to simulate movement. As an example, we have a YIGA foot soldier being put on the end here, and we can just slide him backwards and forwards, la 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 la, moving left and right, and so on. Here we have another example where we've got one of our stationary pieces at one end holding our red bokoblin, and then a big slider on the right holding our Child Link minifigure, and he can run at the bokoblin and then promptly get hit by him. You see the point, he can move along the screen. So stop motion's not your thing. We have these sliders to do action pieces like in real-time recording, which I think is something the original set did, so that was something I wanted to capture here in its essence. Next up we have this one on the floor here, which is a bit hard to see, but it's just a turntable that is anchored down by a tile. And here I'm going to show you the example of, we've got Link on a transparent rod from above, and he can hit the moblin, and the moblin will rotate, and then, well, therefore you can like make it look like the moblin's being hit left, right, left, right. And then finally we have these big cog ones, which are by far the most interesting, and there's a lot of fighting obviously in the Zelda universe, so we have 2 identical cog rods. So the idea being that you turn the back cog and that will turn all the other cogs and they mesh with each other. And what you can do is you can put 2 figures on it and spin them so that they will look like they're fighting. They're backward, forwards, and if they had swords, they would have a sort of clash, which is another opportunity for real animation. As you just saw there, you obviously don't have to do this in the middle, you can slide it off to one side, and if you position the camera right, you don't even have to see the cogs. So it will just look like they're pivoting, punching, or slicing each other with swords, which I think is really great. And we've got an example of that here. So we've got Link and his little baton hidden behind this bokoblin who's on the turntable, which is another combination, and as Link swings his baton we can knock the bokoblin off, which is fun, or he'll spin just like the moblin from earlier. Either way, lots of action features without having to have your fingers in shot, which I think is always important. Also, to help with this sort of staging, as well as sort of to pose things in midair, we're including a couple of transparent pieces, which I know are really hard to see, but that includes 6 of the DC minifigure poser pieces, 4 of the long transparent rods, 1 of the small antennas in transclear, and 1 1x2x5 bricks. So this means you could pose things in midair, pose things like they're flying away, pose things like they're jumping, or attach transparent rods to brackets behind their necks to sort of just control them from above and move them around like they're puppets. Next up, I wanted to talk about the rigging up above, which is obviously necessary to hold the cardboard backdrops, but also has a couple of action features, one of which being one of these transparent rods, which here is holding the Korok, but could hold anyone. It could be Link paragliding, it could be like Everett falling or something, I don't know, YIGA clan appearing, or whatever, but either way, you can see between these 3 renders that the Korok can move left, right, up and down, and then shimmy in 360 degrees, so he's got a nice wide range of movement. Moving over to the other side, there is another more complicated rig, I guess, that is built in a similar way and obviously doesn't have to hold the Master Cycle Zero build here. But what I'm trying to show is that you can, again, this one has a wiggle connector on it so he can move up, down, make it look like he's doing air tricks. Just another really cool one, and obviously if you put a minifigure on this, he's going to have like so much maneuverability. It's going to be great for shooting. Now, obviously, I've talked a lot about real-time animation, but you can very clearly see on the floor that there are enough studs to do stop motion. And obviously, if you wanted to do more stop motion, you could add more studs or use the elements from the set on the backdrop, not here. Like, you could very easily take the stage backdrop and just plonk it on a base plate if you wanted to need more studs for animation. This is all supposed to be a starter kit to like get you started with any form of filmmaking, and that's why it's like it is. Here is that Master Cycle Zero build up close using a Bionicle piece recolored. This is the same build that I used in my advent calendar, and I thought it was the perfect scale to imagine Link on, just like zooming across the landscape in an animation. Moving on though, we've got to cover the side stage, the last major element of the build, and this is by far my favourite element of the build. You can see that it's built in a much smaller but very similar way to the main stage, and up top we just have a range of lighting in trans yellow and trans white, which I just thought was a fun little detail, especially considering this is supposed to represent an interior stage. You've seen it in all the images. We have this top stage piece which looks like this, and this is like a Hyrule Castle corridor. You can see the cardboard backdrop for this one has like a Hyrule Castle lockup on it. We've got two torches, a printed banner element, and lots of space where you could put the bed to recreate Zelda's room from the animation, or put all the maps on the floor to represent the study at the top of the castle where the Queen goes at the end of Hyrule Champion Episode 1. And then you've got the corridor in the background as well, and obviously you could put characters. There's a little gap behind this stage, meaning that you could like go behind the scenery and make them go off screen. But this is holding a secret. So if on the left you lift up the stage, begin to turn it round and then plonk it back down, you can see that we also have a Hylian home from Hateno, which has the other side of the cardboard backdrop being a scene from Link's home. And once again, you can send characters in and out of this doorway, in and out of the house, and this house is designed to be like Link's house from Hateno, as I mentioned. And you can see there's a little staircase, there's some shelving with all some different liquids. We've put the barrel accessory and the bed accessory where you can clearly see the hole that the minifigure would sit in to go to sleep. And we put some of the map pieces up top in their little attic, which obviously appears in the Hylian houses. Now, one other thing to note is that you can in fact fold the roof piece down here so that when you have the Hyrule Castle side showing, you can almost have a balcony up above, like to represent, I guess, battlements, so you could make it an outside castle wall as well. But you've just got a lot of different options with this stage, and that's why I love it. The fact that you can flip it is really, really cool to me. And then if we take a quick look at our minifigures before I show you some scenes from Hyrule Champion loosely recreated with these stages we have. First up we have Director Link, which is a modification on the Breath of the Wild Link. I chose to pay homage to Hylian Bricks' animation here by changing the hair colour from medium nougat, which I personally believe is more accurate, to a tan recolour of the piece I made for my Guardian Attack custom set. Recommend you check some of these out, by the way. And you can see that his facial expression is smiling, he's holding his camera, and his normal torso legs prints are the same. Next up we have Everett, who is using my normal royal card from my Hyrule Castle expansion set, the beret that has been recolored in dark blue with all the printing, and then the same face print as Cassian Andor in order to pay tribute to Everett from the animation. You can see a screenshot of him here from the animation. Next up we have Queen also appearing in Hyrule Champion. We are using the exact same design here, just with more detail on the torso. She's got her staff, Tina Goldstein hat, Tina Goldstein case. Then she's also using a slightly darker skin tone, so I guess it is a new headpiece. And then we've got the dress piece recolored in dark blue with some Hyrule printing, and then her sash across to sort of give that vibes of Champion time. And then we move on to Child Link, who is seen in part 2 of the animation. He's wearing like a simple torso, only a poor boy, some mid-legs in medium nougat. He's got a little brown cape on. Don't forget you can always swap out neck accessories with brackets so they can be held from the ceiling. The swish to one side hairpiece in blonde, and then a baton for his little sword. I chose to use the police baton because I thought it was just better shaped. And then if we move on to Zelda, we're using an adult form of Zelda, which I know we haven't seen yet in the animation, but she actually has one special feature. Obviously she's here in her playing dress, but what we can do is take the head and the hairpiece and swap them onto her research outfit so she can go between the two. And to be fair, if you just got like a triangular like slope piece. You could probably make Baby Zelda as well using the praying dress, sort of just go for small Zelda. You could easily do it. It's not hard. I can't give you all the pieces in the world. And then we also have a Korok included in the set, and a red Bokoblin who appeared in my battle pack, and he looked exactly like his red Bokoblin with a custom molded headpiece, some dual molded arms with white at the bottom, and then a loincloth around his leg and his Legoized skull as well. Not to mention the red Moblin, which is a brick design I introduced in the Hyrule Castle Wall of Defense set, which uses a new molded headpiece which slots over a normal minifigure head. There's a horn in the top, he's holding an extended halberd, and he has some brick built arms using ball joints and like a Groot style piece that splits over the top of his torso. And then we also have a YIGA foot soldier holding the Demon Carver, and he is the same design that appeared in my YIGA Clan Attacks custom set based off Age of Calamity. He's using a molded headpiece very similar to the Guavian Death Gang member, but obviously different, with space at the top for Kevin the Minion's hair. He's got some dual molded arms and some dual molded legs, and I think he looks absolutely fabulous here. And I've been told that this guy may appear sometime soon. And here's his reference. Moving on though, I wanted to show you a couple of scenes that I have attempted to recreate in Hyrule Champion. Now bear in mind this is quite difficult for me to do because I'm using static images and I don't have them in real hand, but I think you'll like to see them anyway. So first up, we've got Link at home. Everett the dad has come home as well, so this is from Hyrule Champion Part 2, and they're just mucking around in the set piece. Next up, we've got Link's fight with the Bokoblin and Moblin from the beginning of Hyrule Champion Part 2, where Everett's coming in to help attached to a jumper stud at the back, and Link's battering away at the Bokoblin. And then finally, we've just got a shot of one of the many Hyrule corridors while the Queen is on her way to see Zelda, or off to the study at the top of the tower, while Everett stands guard by the door. Taking one last look at the figures in their group shot, we've got the two Zeldas and the Queen here. All of them are miscellaneous enemies over here. And then finally, the guys, we've got Everett, Wild Link, and Breath of the Wild Link, which is really, really cute. I just like the figures in this one. It was a bit of fun to do some retakes on some of my other designs. And that is actually going to do it for all I had to say on this model. It was a lot of fun working with Hylian bricks, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my take on a Lego Hylian brick set, I guess. I think it's a perfect synergy between Lego, Zelda, and the animation, so I'm really, really pleased with how it turned out. And I'll hand over to Hylian Bricks to let you know what he thought.
Honestly, it is crazy to think that people enjoy my animations so much to the point where they make fan art and even custom builds like this. I'll sincerely like to thank each and every one of you who have supported me throughout this year with Hyrule Champion. And a huge, massive thank you to Octane Thermoplastic for this video. You definitely did your research when it comes to the iconic details from this series. And of course, I will expand upon it a lot more in the future, and I'm very excited to show you what I've come up with. Again, I'd like to congratulate Octane Thermoplastic not only for this video but for his goals this year. He has gained more than 100 subscribers, which is incredible, I think. And if you're not subscribed or haven't seen any of his videos, I'll leave a link to his channel down below in the description. Go subscribe and check out some of his content. He makes an amazing Lego Legend of Zelda custom set showcase. And hey, maybe I'll make a video for his channel too. Now, for the part you've all been waiting for. Where is Hyrule Champion Part 3? Well, it's taken me way longer than I'd ever expected to create. But mark my word, it is coming out very soon and it is looking incredible. Here's a look of the sets I've been working with. If you'd like to see more updates, consider joining my Discord server. There will be a link down below in the description. There you can talk with the Hyrule Champion cast, the Podcast of Time members, and a bunch of other people who make Lego or Legend of Zelda content. I wish y'all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This year has been incredible for me here on YouTube. I'm almost at 500 subscribers, which is honestly just crazy to think of. And I'm just thankful for all the fun and things I've been able to upload during this year. Hopefully we have more amazing journeys next year. and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching and being with me during this year. This has been Hylian Bricks.